RingGangRadio.com. Take over. Last mission. Final boss mode.
But yeah, I mean, the only thing left, I mean, like, in terms of like we knocked out all the pre. The only thing left, obviously, is just the 2 recaps or whatever. I mean, because I know, like I said, me and P were at their respective events this past weekend. You know, me at Haney-Diaz, P at Tank Cruz. Tank Cruz, you want to talk about Tank Cruz first?
Sure.
Whatever y'all feel like.
Yeah.
Sure. All I could say is that the honeys were out that night. I can tell you that. The honeys were out in full force. I never seen that many honeys in a boxing event.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Holla Holla P was out there. Holla Holla.
Nah, I mean, I was chilling. Like, I'm in a foreign damn state. I can't. I gotta be on my best behavior.
Yeah, P was behaving. P was West Coasting, so he had to be careful. You know, he wasn't. You know, he didn't want to be in kind of a situation where they're like, ask him, what his colors are and shit like that. But P though, tell us how was. I mean, the honeys was out though. The energy. How was the energy in the building, man? All that stuff. Because I mean,
that was probably It was probably one of the most lit atmospheres I've been to when it comes to boxing events. Like, it was a sold out, packed crowd, and everybody was like it's different. I'm gonna keep it real. Like when Tank with Tank fights, it's a different atmosphere and it's a different environment. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna keep it real. At most boxing events, it's usually squares like me because I'm a square and that's fine. But like Tank brings out the culture. Like if you get what I mean. Like,
oh yeah, we all do. Yeah.
So you know.
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
no. Just for a split second, define the culture for a split second.
Oh my gosh, you know what I mean. You know what I mean when I say.
BJ, it's not the time for you to be Canadian, bruh.
No, I'm just being for fun.
But it was a great event. It was cool. Unfortunately, the only thing which was weird. It's like people packed in like late. Like it really didn't start becoming packed until the like at the end of the Adames Derevianchenko fight. Like leading into the co-main. I'm like, damn, everybody like y'all don't come to the beginning, but they just want to see the ending. So
yeah, that's fine too. Yeah, you go to enough live fights, or you see that a lot too. It's like, I mean, it depends on early. I mean, you probably went there early, and I was.
I got there early. I was there for the. Yeah. I caught every fight.
Yes.
Well,
some people will pay all that money for seats just to go to see one fight. It's weird. Like I can never do that because I feel like I gotta get my money's worth. Like I gotta see the card from top to bottom. If I have to miss the first 2 fights, so be it. But certainly nothing on the main card. But the funny thing is too is like this card on paper, you would have thought you would have seen one knockout in one of these fights. Like
not one. I was highly disappointed.
Yeah, like Ramirez Mariaga had knockout written over it because them cats was swinging like those cats was throwing heat at each other. Like
Mariaga, I would like. It was funny because the first round I was like, because Mariaga has a lot of tread on his tires,
right?
And the first round I was like, oh wait, are we getting like old Mariaga back? Because I could dig this. And then he bait and switched me and proceeded to get pummeled the rest of the way through.
He started pretty strongly. He started strong.
I was like, damn you, Mariaga, don't do that again. And then, I thought he was gonna knock him out, but it wasn't meant to be.
Right. And then Derevianchenko and Adames, those cats they were rocking each other early too, but then after that they both got in their groove or whatever.
See, that one pissed me off the most because that's the one that should have gotten a knockout if Adames didn't want to throw 1-2, hurt him, and then proceed to fall into him and hug him.
Adames is a poor finisher. Like he knows how to hurt you, but dude is a poor finisher. Like because he had Derevyanchenko rock like a good amount of times though, but he always let Derevyanchenko off the hook, and Derevyanchenko would come firing back. That was the shit that was annoying me. I was like, I mean, I'll give it to Derevyanchenko.
You hurt him and then you just clinch him, like 1-2 clinch. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like that shit was so annoying. I got really frustrated at that.
Yeah, that was Adames is like, I mean, that you can see how Teixeira was able to put his foot in his ass, because it's just like he's a poor finisher. But Adames did get the win though, and Derevyanchenko. See, this is where I think there was an argument on this. Hey, Derevyanchenko made like $20 million, but he has a journeyman record now. He's 13-4. You know what I'm saying? Like, you did. I mean, it came at a price. Like, dude needs to be rebuilt. Like, he said he was going to 154, but then he fought against it. Like, Al's gonna keep putting him in all these high. It's gonna put him in as a jobber to the stars now.
I can hop in for that conversation.
Okay.
Yeah, just be the next person, and everybody asking like, "Oh, why is this person not get this?" I will explain this because I've talked with friends who've been fighters and everything from the beginning. At the beginning, you don't really get much at all. The biggest thing you have to deal with is not only just getting the money, who's your corner, who's dealing with everything else from beyond that. Not even like general medical stuff. It's not even like you think of the hospital. The person who's next to you has to deal with your medical stuff. And it's up to them to tell you how much do you get. This is where the stories about like, oh, this person took a ton of money on me. You don't know when it starts.
PJ, what the hell are you talking about?
This guy.
Apparently, I'm not part of the conversation. I'm talking about people who are new to fighting.
No, we talk about journeymen. We're talking about like jobbers to the stars, like Derevyanchenko. Like he's
jobbers to the stars and Derevyanchenko. Those guys, how they act. How did they get their money?
Derevyanchenko was touted as a guy who had necks, and then he kept getting chances to prove it, but he always came up short. And now it's like you can't even promote him as next because now he has like a journeyman record. And he's losing to a guy like Adames who he could have beat actually, but maybe all the tough fights accumulated up because he didn't look bad.
Yeah, he didn't look bad.
Adames had him hurt. Like Adames could have finished him in like the second round if he would have damn stepped on it.
Man, what's it? Adames is like
I'm just keep that aside then.
Yeah, it's a poor finisher though, and Derevyanchenko, and that's why it's like Derevyanchenko's career is just like. It's almost tragic to me, like, because he needs to be rebuilt, but it's just like, like PBC had something on him, and now it's just like, you got to put him in with some jobbers now. You gotta build his record back up, like. 13.
My thing is they were so happy to throw Derevyanchenko in with Munguia afterwards, but now does Munguia really fight Adames?
Yes, and he knocks him the fuck out.
That's still a dangerous fight, especially when you can just fight Andre, who's
he'll take that.
But he's not fighting. But he's not fighting Andre. He's going the WBC route. See, I was saying my nightmare scenario, and I will like put my head against my laptop if it happens. Is Munguia fights Adames, knocks him out. Then Charlo moves up to 168, and Munguia wins a vacant belt. I will literally put my head against the laptop and get a new.
All I'm saying is Adames could knock Munguia out. That's a bad fight for someone who could really just go to a title fight.
And that's true too, but it's just Adames is such a
y'all got to remember how many times Rosado was able to fucking buzz Munguia.
Too much time, but
too many fucking times.
But the only thing is, Rosado's a better finisher than Adames. Adames is a terrible.
He is. It's just Adames. I'm looking at the boxing skills and the power. Like he could really make Munguia stock drop a little bit. And I just look at it like you could just fight somebody with that style who's better and get a title shot at the same time than fighting Adames, who could damn pull off the performance of his life and beat you if you ain't on point. Especially if damn Rosado is buzzing you and you going life and death with him.
Yeah, so that's what middleweights. Yeah, these middleweights, man, they're starting to. They're not.
Matter of fact, Derevyanchenko Adams was like the best fight middleweight had this whole year.
That's facts too.
The year was a damn bust. Like it's that and Williams and
middleweight has been a bust for years now. Let's be honest.
Not like it has this year.
Like,
even nothing worthwhile came from the
this year's
middleweight.
been bad. At least the past few years we had some false hope, but this year's been super bad for one.
Yeah. The hope was gone when Triple G and Murata was canceled. You know, middleweight.
After that, now it's a wash.
And then the co-main though was one of the rare 154 fights that was not good. You know, with Fundora and Garcia.
It started off good. It didn't end right.
Right.
They got booed out the building by round 12.
I can't imagine. Yeah, and the funny thing is too, Fundora was the one that was getting his head rocked. Like Garcia, Garcia was rocking dude, like badly rocking dude. Like, you know, Fundora, I always say Fundora was gonna lose very soon. Like most people at the crowd, most people in the audience like that I talked to thought Fundora lost. Yeah, Fundora looked mid.
Fundora,
I was not like. I mean, I give more props to Garcia. You know, it's just maybe the fight plan wasn't where it needed to be. He needed to be tightened up though. But at least Garcia though is a player though, because I was like, okay, like this dude has something. You know,
Ruben will beat the shit out of Fundora.
Yeah, I still feel Fundora's going to be a highlight reel in the making for one of these guys that won 154. I don't know who, but he's definitely going to be a guy that's going to fall like a big tree. You know what I'm saying?
Timber.
He gets hit too clean. And I feel like after the 6th round, if you could take his punishment for 6 rounds, you could come on late. Because I feel like Garcia, if he would have just pushed it more late, because Fundora kind of was done fighting by the 8th round.
His work rate dropped. Yeah, after like 6 or 7, his work rate fell off really bad.
Yeah, so, but it's a big mountain to overcome early though. But I feel like a guy like Brandon Adams is tough enough and hits hard enough where he could fuck up Fundora's shit late.
We definitely need that fight. That we need Brandon Adams to upset the apple guy. You know, someone, you know, find this dude. Like, dude's been missing since the Ring City card, man. You know, where's he at?
Even that guy who Tony Harrison got a gift against. I forgot Perella.
Yeah, Brian Perella. Yeah,
like that's a good hard fight for Fundora.
Fundora. I mean, it's time to step him up now. You know, and. Yeah,
Garcia was a step up, but you know he need to show me something more if he trying to get a title fight soon.
Yeah, absolutely. And then someone else also needs to probably show something. You know, is the main event. You know, with Tank and Isaac Cruz, man. Now that was a fight I was expecting the knockout in. You know, but apparently things came out where Tank apparently hurt his hand, and then instead of picking, and then he picked the wrong gloves to wear and injured his hand even more.
Told y'all this nigga Tank was going the distance, man. Cruz's head was just too fucking big.
It was a good fight though. I enjoyed it, and I was honestly like, I think it was better that it went the distance.
I mean, it was a good fight though, but in terms of expectations, it was just like it was not a good performance. But I mean, I thought Tank was pretty mid during that fight. Like he
needed to look better if he was going to go the distance.
I mean,
hang on. One second. Hey Pat, how were you expecting the fight to go to begin with?
I expected Tank to knock Cruz out.
In what manner? In what manner?
A brutal manner at that.
Like by an uppercut, right?
Everybody else, how did you feel in comparison to what he was thinking?
I felt the same, but
I thought it was gonna be a knockout.
One second. Let's start with Pilot. Pilot, go ahead.
I felt the same, but I also felt like I thought like how Tank probably thought he was gonna just fight like a dumb Mexican style and just kind of come forward. But Cruz fought a great fight. man, and when Tank was in the 11, waiting to come out the 12th, he was huffing and puffing. That body work was, the way Cruz was just, attacking his body and punch selections and not coming in like fully all aggressive like that. That made a huge difference. That I didn't expect that. I don't think any of us really. Maybe besides
okay. Pete, how were you thinking about how it's gonna go?
I thought Tank was gonna stop him in the 5th. And
in what manner?
I thought he was gonna catch him coming in with the uppercut. Similar, I thought it was gonna be like Leo Santa Cruz. Just because the openings that Isaac Cruz presented, but he ended up taking away that. He actually took away the uppercut. So,
he did. He took
Can
you give a little bit more info, like how he took it away? If you can remember how he took it away.
If I can remember, I'm trying to remember. Now, Sunday seems like so long ago. I'm trying to remember every. I have to watch it again, on TV. But I just remember it seemed like he was preparing for it every time. Just kind of didn't leave himself open enough and kind of covered up just enough so that the uppercut didn't always hit flush. Honestly, he hit him more on the top of the head more than anything, and I think that's what hurt his hand even more.
Hey, I mean, the uppercut was hitting his gloves too, because I think they did.
He was blocking them shits. He was blocking them. He knew they were coming.
Yeah.
And Tank wasn't throwing enough punches to mix it up to sneak the uppercut in there. He wasn't doing no Antonio Tarver shit.
The uppercut was hitting the gloves, and the hooks were hitting the top of Isaac Cruz's head, which messed up his hand. Like in the 8th round, I saw it live. I was like, I saw the way he winced and how he came up afterwards. I'm like, yeah, he hurt his hand. It was easy.
He shouldn't be trying to hit.
Okay, for it.
Shorter. He shouldn't be trying to hit.
Can I ask this for a specific?
Hold on. You don't hit a guy like Cruz on top of the head or side of the head. Cruz is a guy you hit only 2 places, on the chin and in the body.
Mm-hmm. What are you gonna ask, PJ?
So because you said those are the 2 places that you said that hit, how do you think they should approach it? Should they consider how he felt about it, or just keep continuing his fight?
Wait, what are you asking? How he felt about what?
You know those 2 areas he said, it wasn't directly what LB just said. They're the fight areas.
Oh, yeah. What
they
about?
Just continue his fight either way, or just they should consider it?
I mean, they probably should have switched up the game plan a little bit, but then Tank was kind of forced to because he couldn't use his hand,
So continue to fight either way.
Yeah.
Okay, LB, just want to ask your perspective now. Overall.
I told you.
Just to finish it off. I know you
going to the distance. He didn't look all that great. I felt like the fight was close enough. It almost could have felt it could have gone either way.
Cruz did not win that. I'm sorry. I did not believe Cruz won that fight at all.
We'll put that aside for now. Anyway, LB.
Honestly, the fight could have been a draw.
I can see a draw. I couldn't see a Cruz win.
Let's finish up with LB's perspective first.
I still had Tank winning, but if someone said Cruz should have won or they had Cruz winning, I couldn't fucking really disagree. Honestly, just like I felt like Brandon Figueroa won clearly. I felt like Figueroa won more clearly over Fulton than Tank did over Cruz. So at least Figueroa could say he heard his guy and landed 41 more punches and controlled the ring better. With Tank, he made a lot of rounds close by moving back, not doing nothing, not jabbing. Even before he hurt his hand, he wasn't boxing the best fight. So it's one thing if you hurt your hand in the first or second round, or you get a bad cut in the first or second round where you could throw off your whole game for the whole fight. I get that. But Tank had a hard fight before he even hurt his hand.
I heard about that, yes.
So it's I can't even really give him that an excuse. You hurt your hand in the 8th round, or the 6th round, nigga, you supposed to have been knocked him out by then, or at least be up 5-1 or some shit.
Well, I always thought it was going to take a little bit to adjust to Isaac, because Isaac is a swarmer. So
nigga, you sparring against Sean Porter? I don't want to hear that.
Nigga, that's spar. I mean,
Nigga, I don't give a fuck, man. Like, nah. We putting respect on sparring Sean.
Yeah, I do respect on sparring, but like, I don't know. But Porter is a lot bigger though. It's different when you're fighting a smaller swarmer, and I can tell you.
Hey, hang on. I just wanted to do the main thing, which is like, let's respect everybody who finished their statements. So let LB finish real quick before you.
No, he could. I get what he's saying, but I ain't give. Look, man. The honest to God, this weekend these fucking lightweights just ain't as good as they think they are, as advertised.
No, they all have wrinkles. They all have wrinkles.
For Haney, all of these niggas.
and
fucking lightweights is setting the world on fire. None of them as good as they advertise. Shakur Stevenson.
If the world was on fire, YouTube would be the terrible dude deal with how to take it out.
Because this nigga Tank out here winning 115, 113 to a guy like Isaac Cruz.
Like, no, that's unacceptable. Like,
it was not. It was not at all.
Maybe Isaac Cruz is better than what we thought he was. Because I'll be honest,
he was.
I think that Isaac Cruz that we saw on Sunday, I think he beats the crap out of Ryan Garcia.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Absolutely, I truly believe.
In terms of the random power that
something big by 12 rounds.
Wait,
what? But Ryan has issues with pressure fighting.
Ryan. I was like, yeah, Ryan.
Because his footwork is shitty.
And Cruz would take that left hook away, like he took Tank's uppercut.
No, he wouldn't.
I don't know about all that.
No, I don't believe so. He would.
I believe he would.
I mean, nigga, you believe Luke Campbell would beat Ryan Garcia?
He almost did.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, close enough is still.
I mean, it wasn't a bad prediction, but I mean, come on.
Yeah. He in charge of this fight.
Ryan Garcia fight different than Tank. Ryan Garcia, he would stand in one place, have minimal movement. Isaac Cruz would be swarming him from all directions, non-stop, and Ryan Garcia would take a beating, or he would be frazzled until he finally gets some time, and he would knock the fuck out of dude.
Yeah, if he finds that time, which
he's gonna find them. Like Cruz is
gonna be all in his face. Ryan struggles against pressure fighters.
I mean, so what does Tank struggle with then?
Yeah, because let's say Tank didn't have. Like, his plan B was enough to get him the victory, but it wasn't the really decisive victory that everyone was really wanting to see from him. So
the funny thing is, maybe it's just me, I felt, and even though Tank has always been very hittable, I actually felt he was more defensively responsible than he has been in his last couple of fights.
Because he used his footwork more this time than any other fight.
Yeah,
so, I mean, that's not a bad thing if he showed, like, because I would like to see him get hit less. That's one of my biggest criticisms of Tank.
It is a bad thing when
it's a bad thing
when you're moving away from a guy that's smaller than you, but you're used to walking down bigger guys. What the fuck?
Yeah, and then it didn't help too that every time he was pivoting, his hands were in the air, and occasionally Cruz was catching them with them hooks as he was pivoting. Yeah, so
because you move more don't mean you got better. Don't mean your defense got better. Shit, Paulie used to move in circles all the time, getting tagged. How many times Angulo was slapping Laura around, moving in circles?
Okay, Pete. Basically, the short of it is, like, we're agreeing with you, which is like, where do you see that earlier point you're talking about?
What?
Okay, never mind. I'm out.
I'm trying to circle back. Like, yeah. No, I'm trying to circle back to what you was like. Okay, like you was like, what point did I see of what? Like,
all I said initially at the beginning is they were telling you the same thing. They said, like, yes, we are a defensive too. We're asking you, where do you start noticing your defensive tendencies, or what you paid attention to among fighters?
Yeah, see, I'm trying to figure that out right now. I'm trying to, like, understand that, and
that's why I'm just like, I don't need to be here anymore.
I mean, Tank was just moving better. That's all. Like, I didn't.
In comparison to your favorite fighter, I should say.
Tank don't move his fucking head like that. He'll keep his hands up, and he was moving around. He used the ring more, but you could use the ring more. But if you're not jabbing more with it and controlling the ring and controlling the pace, you just moving for no reason. Like that's why a lot of people had it close, because Cruz was always moving his hands.
Yes, that's true.
Hitting this dude with damn body hooks and hooks up top. Like,
yeah, even though I was watching like how the score was going, I'm just like, that should not be as close as it should be, but I understand why it should be.
Like honestly, the fight was close as fuck, too close for Tank's level in the game right now.
For Tank, it should not be that close, ever, at all.
Understood. It was close because to me it was definitely closer than Haney-Diaz, but that's another story. We'll get to that later.
The fact it was on a Sunday made me mad in general. But
yeah, I feel like Haney-Diaz, the rounds were more like Haney won more rounds, but the rounds were more competitive.
Yeah.
Where I feel like Tank Cruz was closer, more round wise.
Mm-hmm.
Like Tank Cruz is like 115, 113, 114, 114. Haney-Diaz was like 116, 112,
117.
Yeah, I had it 117, 111.
Haney would be as described as LB would say, like, you're just throwing punches just to stay away instead of trying to make a point.
That's the thing. Haney was getting rocked every other fucking punch, and he had a lot of close rounds in that fight. So it's like none of these niggas looked impressive to me, man. Like,
yeah, no,
Haney for all his talent, he was supposed to like
he gets hit too much.
JoJo.
He gets hit too much.
Like he couldn't even really do that to me.
What irked me is it might be because like close range. There's certain things that Haney could have done. Is like hold the person's arm a certain way, then you get your free inside hit.
But I don't know, like it's funny because even the rounds that he got hit, like a couple of shots, the hard shots, he was still controlling the rounds the most part. Like he got hit.
Oh no, I'm not saying like getting hit, like control.
Because Haney was hitting a lot of gloves and shit. Like he wasn't landing a lot. It's like it was the same thing as the Fulton fight. Like
no, I get it.
Landing clean after like the 6th, 7th round like that.
No, I get that.
You know,
Like I didn't see him with no 117, 111 type fight. Like Diaz won at least 4 rounds. I had some people seeing him with 5 rounds.
It was an okay fight.
But it's nowhere. I'm not even looking at Haney as somebody who's gonna just take over lightweight like that. Like I didn't get
none
that
of these
impression.
guys are a level. None of these guys are at a level above the other one. They can all beat each other.
Nobody's
Not
unbeatable.
yet.
Yeah, nobody's unbeatable. I mean, both guys have.
But the way the stands be talking, like, you know, Haney got next, you know, Tank is such and such. But all I see is like, you guys are mid, and Shakur Stevenson look like the real good.
I think Shakur is the best out of the bunch, but I also think Haney's kind of become stagnant. So I think he needs to.
When he's fighting his best fighters now.
Yeah,
But
I don't think it's stagnant. I think it's the trainers, because I think
that's what I'm saying. Like his team and his training, and it's just like he needs to get someone like his dad is. I'm gonna be honest. Bill is showing a little bit of Kenny in it. Like,
well, Bill fell back a little bit. I mean, doesn't Ben Davison train him?
No.
Ben Davison is like an assist.
Yeah, Ben really should have been taking control.
Yeah, and I was actually there. Like I said, no. Bill is definitely a presence. Like he's a presence everywhere with Devin Haney. Everywhere.
And kind of annoying. That's why I said he has
one
a little
tiny
bit
thing.
of
I'm gonna say one tiny thing. It does play a factor, even though we do know. I'm talking about somebody who wasn't there in the pro game. Money doesn't really affect it to a point. It's absolutely stupid. Not like it does. The way you think money is absolutely stupid, it does actually as stupid as it can be. Like legitimately, it is. That's how stupid it is.
Wait, what?
Money affects fights. Money affects fights the way as stupid as you imagine.
Well, clearly, everyone knows he's getting paid from the. He's not maximum contract anymore. but Eddie's been taking care of him. So yeah, dude is getting paid. But like LB said, he's actually fighting his best fights now. But it's coming to the point where he's fighting his best fights now, and he's starting to show a lot of chinks in his armor, so to speak. And the JoJo fight, like I said, you know, I mean, JoJo made him work every fucking round, JoJo did not let up, you know. And Haney was more offensive than usual, but I think the problem is everyone's always complaining about his lack of power. Well, Haney, the funny thing is, Haney has almost 60% KO ratio, so he has pop.
And let me say, it doesn't help if this motherfucker, okay, if I'm getting on my soapbox, sorry, but this motherfucker keeps asking his damn opponents after every fight, oh, how's my power? How's my power? Do I punch hard? How do I punch? Nigga, if you don't stop that fucking asking how much power is.
It's funny because everybody was shitting on JoJo for not having power, but he the one who was damn doing all the hurting in that fight.
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, JoJo Diaz has a pretty damn good chin, so it's like to not get rid of JoJo Diaz is not like it's not a problem, like, you know. I mean, somebody just got outbox him, and Haney did that to a degree, but like I said, he didn't look spectacular. Like it wasn't like a Shakur Herring type of performance where it looked like Shakur controlled every second of the.
But that's the thing, it wasn't even a Crawford Beltran performance.
Yeah, no, Haney mixed it up because I think he heard the criticism, and you know, and I wouldn't say it's to a detriment because he won, and you know, but there were some shots that he didn't need to take from JoJo Diaz in that particular fight.
Even the punch stats were close, but I don't remember them showing the punch stats at the end though.
Right.
For which fight?
For Diaz Haney.
For Diaz Haney. All I know is Haney got
showing it in the middle.
I mean, it was. I don't remember the stats. I think too that the Matchroom guy actually emailed the punch stats too. But yeah, no, it was pretty, like I said, it was a pretty even fight for the most part. I mean, JoJo Diaz, you know, I mean, pretty much like I said, dude gave a good account of himself. Like he was like, you know, he did what he had to do. Like he made sure that he was for real. I mean, at 135, you know.
Yeah,
so.
Haney could never pull away or like several feet ahead. He always just stayed a couple feet ahead of JoJo, and he won. Like that's the only difference between the Tank and Cruz fight. Haney fight was more decisively in a round sense, but the rounds were way more competitive.
Right.
Cruz and Tank was closer in a round sense. I felt like one guy would do better in one round, and then the other guy would come back, do a little better in the other round, and he'd take it. You ain't had that shit. Niggas weren't trading rounds like that with Haney Diaz. It was almost like, damn, okay, Haney got that. Then you're like, oh, JoJo comes back in the last 40 seconds, and you're like, okay, damn, he's taking him to the brink each round. And then some round JoJo would win, and then Haney would lose, and then he'd come back and control the rest of it. Like, yeah. It was a decent entertainment.
Yeah, you know, I mean, the lightweights were showing. Like, I mean, a lot of people at the media table, like they were all saying what we were saying, but Haney did win that fight. You know, Haney did get pops for the fight, whatever. But it's just more. But it is concerning too. I mean, yeah, there was that little, you know, the little altercation. I wouldn't say altercation. You know, the little planned meeting between him and Kambosos, who was there too as well. You know, Kambosos got a loud fucking cheer in that arena too when he showed up.
He did in Staples as well. He got the loudest reception in Staples too.
Yeah, imagine that we're talking about the lightweights that have been the names there. You know, they're the ones that are starting to look off, but Kambosos comes out of fucking nowhere, really, and now he's like, you know,
he's a made man. But I mean,
he deserved it. He earned it.
He deserved it. I mean, we can rag on these guys, but at least they didn't lose like Teofimo. At the end of the day, you know, at least they.
That's true. Yeah. That's absolutely true. Like, you know, they kept their zero, so that's the important part, you know. And so for pretty much now for Devin Haney and for Tank. I mean, Tank's trying to, against Ellerby's trying to position him to be more in-house fights, which is going to be ridiculous. And then Haney,
he's gonna be on the undercard for Ellerby Hearn.
Who do y'all think is the better
co-main and main event at the same time?
Hey, what were you saying, Pilot?
I was gonna ask who, in your opinion, real quick, who is better defense? I mean, because Haney, you would think Haney has better defense than Tank, but I think it's actually closer.
I think Haney has better
Honestly,
defense.
Haney has better defense. It's just in that
Haney
particular fight.
Haney does a lot of dumb shit sometimes
He
too.
was getting touched up by JoJo more than I thought. Like, watching that fight, I was like, damn, if one of these guys like Teofimo or Tank were to land on him, I don't know. I mean, he was getting hit a lot to me.
That's how I'm looking at the Kambosos fight. Imagine if Kambosos land those punches.
Yeah, I would never thought it would have been a 50-50 fight.
With Haney, Haney gets hit badly a lot of times with because he has bad mental lapse. Like he just does dumb shit sometimes. He's doing fine.
That goes as bad defense.
And each time he's had those bad moments, he takes the most damage.
Yeah,
And he also doesn't have I've always said I don't like his physique pause. He's very top heavy. Chicken legs never work. So he doesn't even have the legs to really survive if he gets hurt badly.
well, that brings up to another thing too. Haney, I mean, at the media scrum, Haney has said that he only has so much 135 fights left. I mean, if you go on YouTube page, it's all there. So
I think he's draining himself now because his body didn't look as filled out as it did in the Linares fight. Like he looked smaller this time around.
Mm-hmm.
Like he looked way slimmer. Like his body was thin.
Yeah, and I know Devin says Devin's clearly now he's going after the Kambosos fight because I think he's in the best position to actually land the fight. So and he says he'll do 135 for that, but I'm pretty sure as soon as if he does get that fight and he does win, he's dropping those belts and going to 140. So he doesn't.
I think all these guys fighting for these belts only.
He said he doesn't have lunch. He's not going to be at 135 much longer.
Yeah, so.
DLC is gonna last for so long.
Yeah, so lightweights. Like I said, they did their thing, but it wasn't a Kambosos thing. Kambosos made a statement. These two it was status quo. In this case, they might have underperformed.
Kambosos really made himself the emperor of lightweight, though. That's the crazy thing.
Yeah, exactly. And Kambosos too. If you ever seen him fight even before that, you would have never thought that could actually be.
Yeah, didn't look like this against Lee Selby. Where was this Kambosos?
He didn't look like this. He looked somewhat like that against Mickey Bay, but it's Mickey Bay.
It's Mickey Bay. Mickey Bay hasn't been a thing in 6-7 years. So
yeah, I gotta agree with Jay Lewis. These dudes need to eat some damn sandwiches.
Here comes California.
Devin Haney needs a submarine, a hoagie or something.
He's calling shit,
honestly, Devin Haney look like he need to be at 140 right now. Tank actually look like he's more 135-ish than Haney does.
Yeah, Tank needs to stay where he is because Tank starts losing. 140 it's whatever, but Tank doesn't want no 140 shit right now.
He's staying at 135 because he gave up his 140 belt.
He dropped the 140 belt.
He stay his ass there, dude.
Exactly.
Fight some damn. Honestly, he should be running that Cruz fight back, though.
Saying hell no to the rematch kind of made me. I'm a fan of Tank, but that kind of made me feel a little off on him for saying that hell no shit. I don't know.
That wasn't a good look, So, but yeah, like
these Mexicans been giving these niggas hell lately. Has there anybody come and just handle the Mexican lately? I'm trying to remember when was the last time.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, these lightweights, the Mexicans are just, they don't want to be jobbers no more. They're like, look, we come from a proud country. We're great champions, so we're great fighters too, man.
Even Mexicans are struggling against Mexicans. Cause remember, Areola was there having his way with Ruiz.
Exactly.
Everybody's like, yo, fuck that. We ain't no jobbers tonight.
Exactly.
Tell that to your mama.
I'm just waiting for that other shoe to drop. Someone's gonna get caught slipping. Just gonna be see who will it be. Actually, I don't think there's not a prominent Mexican fighting this coming weekend.
We want to see who's gonna pull off the last upset for the year. I know we got another one at least bubbling.
I'm sure. You know,
Well,
so,
hold on, we got a Cliffs of Shields fight this week or next week?
That's
how do you
next week. I
That's
think it's next week. Oh, wait, is it next week? Or is it this week? I thought it was next week.
I don't even know.
I thought it was the 18th. Hold on.
Oh, so it's probably next week. And
Hold on.
that's it. Ain't no other big fights, right?
But the only other fight mentioned is Bivol defending his belt.
And we got better. We got the better be it.
Well, Better Babe is next week. It's not this coming weekend, bro.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Better
okay.
be
That's-
and Marcus Brown, right?
Yeah, that's not this coming weekend. It's the week after that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it for all the fights. Actually, no, the Cliffs of Shields fight was moved to 2022, so it's not.
Oh,
even
it was moved. Okay, I thought it was. I thought it was
he's
next
smart
week.
enough.
Yeah. So I think so that's it for all the outside of Bivol defending his belt this weekend. That's pretty much about it.
Oh, Zerto fight this year too, right?
Yeah, that's next weekend. Not this coming weekend, but the week after. Yeah. And like I said, the 11th and 18th, they I don't know, these promoters, they overloaded the fuck out of those 2 weekends with fights. Yeah, the 18th has a whole shitload of fights. There's like 4 cards. Or 5. Yeah, there's PBC, there's Jake Paul shit, there's Zerto
What's the
shit.
BBC card?
Fucking David Morrell and Alontes Fox. Yeah, and then
That
Paul.
don't count, man. Say the real card.
Yeah, and there's Paul Woodley 2, the Zerto fight, Parker Chisora 2, and then Better Beeve and Brown on Friday, the 17th. That's all next week.
Okay, I just heard about 3 cards.
I said 4. Oh yeah, you heard 3. This nigga right here, yo.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
I'm not even hyped for Woodley too. Like they could have just damn postponed the damn.
Canceled it and postponed it. Like
Right?
Yeah.
I it's like they might as well. I mean,
Is
what's-
Woodley even in shape?
they said he's been training, but
They say he's training, but the undercards. That usually at least those celebrity shows, the undercards are good, but that undercard's not even.
yeah, undercard's garbage.
Yeah.
But I got some bars. Well, got some bars for that next week. But I think
They gave Serrano a co-main fight again.
that's the only plus to she has an audience for once.
But you don't have that Montana Love Baranchek type fight on there though.
Nah, none of that. Not one fight. Nah. Awful.
And like I said, they say that trash shit for Florida.
Hey, and I like the zone card was dope. Though the refs were trying to force the stoppages. At least we got Montana Love and Amma Williams back.
Yeah, that's the Haney card. Yeah, they got stoppages on there. At least that was good though. But yeah, I think Eddie made those fights a little bit too one-sided. So that's part of the reason why. Like they got the wins. It's cool and all. But yeah, Eddie needs to be a little bit more consistent with his undercards.
Yeah, he's killing me with these undercards, man.
Yeah, like I mean, you can't be having all because it's a pattern. Like he'll have a whole bunch of, and all of a sudden, like the card that we don't expect it to be anything special, all of a sudden it's like fades and upsets galore. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not consistent with it. So, and even rarely that we get a fight on card on paper that that it's going to be competitive. But yeah, Eddie, that's what Eddie has to do. That's the only thing I take away from being from top to bottom, being there for Haney-Diaz. So yeah, he needs to work. He needs to tweak his American undercards better, a lot better. And I think
Other than that, ain't nothing. The only other boxing thing we learned was Teofimo had pneumonia.